Hi, family. Hi, friends. Hi, food lovers. Hey, neighbors. Hey, community. Hey, comics. People who like to cook, connect, and kvetch. Thanks so much for joining me for Hot Dish.
Sexy pose for the cameras, for the press.
For the press.
That's right.
Hello. Welcome to Hot Dish. I'm your host, Lauren Hooberman.
I'm your guest hot dish comic Laura Hugg. I looked at the micro and I'm going to stay in a sexy pose the whole time so I can be more alluring.
Of course.
Which will make it awkward to cook.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Welcome. This is a technological miracle. If this is working, I don't believe in God, but if this is being live streamed to Facebook with volume on, I do believe in God. That's what I have to say.
All right, great.
Yes.
That's in the Bible.
So today we're going to be cooking up something tasty. I have my guest, Laura Hugg. She is a fabulous Chicago comedian. She is smart. She is funny. She's inspiring. She is
vegan.
She's a vegan. We're going to be cooking vegan today. We're going to get into that. Also, she has a wonderful new show at the Lincoln Lodge called Keep Coming Back. It's based on themes of recovery.
Yeah, all varieties of recovery, addiction recovery, debt relief, whatever comedians and storytellers, comedic performers have recovered from, and they have material around their process. That's what the show, the performers on the show will be doing the material about. And it's the second Saturday of the month at the Lincoln Lodge at 5 p.m. Tickets are $10. You can go to the Lincoln Lodge website for tickets.
And it's fabulous. And I had the privilege of being on it for the first show, and everybody was wonderful. And Laura did a fabulous job putting on the production.
And Lauren shared with us her story about her colonoscopy. So it was great. It's also informational.
It's informational.
Yeah.
God. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. I have recovered from the colonoscopy physically, but clearly not mentally.
Right. The trauma's ongoing. So you'll be able to come back and that'll be great.
Yeah, I will. But also my dad wants everyone to know to please get a colonoscopy. It's very important. I share my story with you. Hopefully it doesn't deter you. Hopefully when
or
you're
deterred you if you
were due for it. I don't know. Get it, but just know what you're in for.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So I am really hoping that this is working, but screw it. Here we go. So Laura, we've got a lot of things going on today. So number one, we're live streaming to Facebook, which is new for Hot Dish. Number two, I want you to do more of the cooking than me. It's a challenge.
Yes.
We're
this is an elaborate way for Lauren Hooberman to get people to cook her meals. She's like, how could I could just ask? No, I know. I'll set up a podcast,
so
appealing to our egotistical natures.
Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Okay, so today we're going to be cooking up crispy sheet pan noodles with glazed tofu. Mm-hmm. And we are doing this in part because Laura is vegan. Actually, 100% we're doing this because Laura is vegan, and I love it. I think it's fabulous. And so we're going to... Okay, I've just gotten confirmation that there is sound, and we look fabulous and we sound fabulous.
Thank you.
No big deal.
Hot dish.
Okay, so here's what's happening right now. We've got our water is boiling.
Vegan water,
everything vegan. Laura's gonna put the ramen noodles into the bowl.
These are ramen. And chicken, but if you don't use the murder packets that come with it, then it's just noodles. So I'm gonna, at some point, Lauren will be asking me questions. I don't know if I'll be able to cook and answer questions at the same time, but we'll find out.
See, and that's part of the reason for the switch. I needed to be more present as an interviewer and a host, and you're going to be put on the spot more.
Stay tuned for her next one where Lauren has hot bathroom cleaning and invites comics over to clean her tub while she asks them questions. That one has been harder to get guests on, but because no comic knows how to clean their bathtub.
Oh my God, I love it.
Except
Okay.
for like the 5 married ones.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Those
Okay,
ones
thank
are
you.
functional. They've been whipped into shape. Okay. So we're letting our water boil. We'll let that happen. In the meantime, I want to hear from you, Laura, and I
Okay.
want to know.
Can I look at the menu? Are you
Oh,
guiding me along?
I'm
Okay. Is
gonna
this the
guide
menu?
you.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
You have a thing.
It's
Okay.
okay.
I'm
No.
sorry.
No, we've
No,
got
no.
we've got our menu here.
Okay. But or the recipe.
Yeah.
But you have spots along. Okay. You
I
know
have,
what you're doing.
yeah,
right?
I have like, I have some sticky notes, which
Oh,
rule my
great.
life.
Okay.
They rule my world.
Okay.
And so those are set out
Good
and I
idea.
will help to guide you.
I never thought you could use a sticky note outside of work. Like,
Oh,
I'm a prisoner. just a ground down in the cog of the corporate machine.
Oh
and
my
Thank you for
gosh.
liberating me.
Yeah, you're free. Those
Yeah.
sticky notes. Oh, you'll be so happy when you switch over. Okay, so Laura, I first want to hear from you a little bit about comedy and your background doing comedy. How long you've been performing, kind of what got you started, those kinds of things.
Okay. Let's see. I have been consistently doing stand-up for 12 years. Before that, I'm a graduate of the Second City Conservatory. So I did sketch comedy and still do sketch comedy on occasion. I did that for like maybe 6-7 years, and then sort of started transitioning into stand-up. I also have done improv. I don't do it as much. I can do it in an emergency, but there is almost never an improv emergency. I'm a first yes-ander. That's what I call it. I made that joke up during the pandemic, and let's see. So, and I actually started performing when I was younger. I went to performing arts school. But my other pursuits, my more illicit pursuits, got in the way of that. I think it was just but I did plays and stuff like in high school and grade school.
Mhm.
So, and I've always been funny. So, when I moved to Chicago, I was here a couple of years, and then I went to Columbia College and I didn't know what to go for. So I went for theater, and it was there I found out, I was like, how do I focus on being a comedic actor? That's really what I wanted to do. Like, I was inspired by Brett Butler and Grace Under Fire and Roseanne Barr at the time, the Roseanne show. And my influences early on, like a lot of people, were Carol Burnett was probably one of my first, and Saturday Night Live, and then like Soap and I've always been drawn to comedy.
Yeah.
I was at Columbia, and the vulnerability of acting was too overwhelming, or at the time it was too frightening. I probably wouldn't have been able to articulate it, but getting into acting through comedy seemed like something I could do and wanted to perform.
Mhm.
But I just didn't want to have to do serious sex scenes and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, not that I was but a comedic sex scene. I didn't want to do that either. And so far haven't really been, I've done a couple, but sketch comedy, it's there's nothing going on.
Yeah. You
Anyway.
haven't had to get nude on stage.
No, right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, we're gonna pause for 1 sec.
Okay.
I'm gonna pour this in, and
You're doing the cooking
I
now,
know.
which is fine.
I just want to do this part
Okay.
just because
Okay.
I just don't want to put you at risk with my pots if something malfunctions and then have a lawsuit on my hands,
Yes.
basically.
All right.
Also, that said a heat proof bowl, and I really
Okay.
hope that that's heat proof.
Okay.
But we're gonna find out.
Right.
So fuck it.
Is there
Screw it.
is there somewhere in the running order where it says have comic touch the bowl to find out if Target was lying or not?
Oh my gosh. Okay, we're gonna let that sit for 5 minutes. Cool. Okay, now you're gonna take over.
Okay.
So now it's time to make the marinade.
Okay.
And these are the ingredients and
All right.
the amounts that you need for each item.
Okay.
So yeah, Laura is going to whip up a very special marinade.
A very special marinade. That's what's
Everything's special.
yeah, a very on this Thanksgiving.
And I'm just gonna stand behind the steam and look spooky.
Yeah.
Awesome. So Laura, I know you as a stand-up comic, but I also knew that you have a lot of other performance background, talent, that type of thing. But like, what do you love about stand-up? Like what keeps you coming back to stand-up time after time?
Well, I mean, to be honest, I love stand-up because it is a way to sort of tell my truth. Like as a natural front man, it's a way to tell the truth of my life experience, but in a not straightforward way. Like it's very passive aggressive. So it's like, I'm telling the truth, but I'm skipping a certain amount of vulnerability, aside from the willingness to stand in front of people and have them not laugh. And then and not like you. And then you're like, God, I got to take an hour and 40-minute ride back to the city with the person who's doing really well on this show. And I got to sit in the storeroom. No one liked me. That happened to me one time, where I'm like, ugh. But other than that, that's vulnerable.
That's vulnerable. Yeah.
But I like stand up because, it scratches the itch to perform and I have something to say. And I think I can, it's cheaper to do than like paying a lot of money for classes, which I've done and I'm not against, but like, you're not always in a position where you can spend money on classes for things. So when I was, and also it's easy to stand up as like, there are other people involved. You need the audience, you need the producers, the venue, and you need other comics to some extent, but you don't have to like get the props and arrange a rehearsal schedule. You can do it on your own and you can almost do it anywhere. I've got a mic and a cord and a speaker as long as there's power, or I have loud comics. You could put on a comedy show anywhere,
what's
stand up.
A place that you've put on a comedy show that might be unexpected or surprising?
I don't know if there are other shows that I think like I haven't done it yet, but the pickup truck one.
Oh, I don't know.
There's a guy I think it started during the pandemic, who's doing like pickup comedy or something like that. I've seen, and I haven't reached out yet, but maybe I'll get a January slot. That'll be nice by the lakefront.
I love that idea.
But he did that. And then, let's see. Do you have a scrape? No, it's okay. Can I have a little spoon to scrape?
Can you have some tools? Yeah.
Yeah. And then maybe a dish to put it on.
I just have that.
That's fine.
I don't care. Just put it on the counter.
Okay. So, and then a paper towel.
Yeah. I just like to make a mess and deal with it later.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll make some mess, but
okay.
I just want to.
Yeah.
So then, but I did, I had a show in a vegan restaurant and there was no stage. So that was challenging.
Did people pay attention?
They did. Well, it was, the restaurant did a really good job of like trying to notify their customers it was going to happen. Mm-hmm. And then I went around to the table and let people know and then talked to them a little bit and then really tried to kiss their asses about being vegan, which I totally was like, how long have you been better than everyone else, and stuff like that. But also just to say, like, I try to get people or tell them like, people will be eating, so be mindful. Yes. I didn't restrict, but I do kind of put some parameters on it, which some of our peers have no problem with, and some people are like, you're giving them whatever. I should be compassionate. They feel restricted by any direction about their material. So but nobody ever if you're like, hey, people be eating, or there might be kids there. What was challenging about it is that you're standing performing and not everybody's engaged, and as long as they're not too loud and disruptive, you will have ambient noise that is just for the shared space. Mm-hmm. And that's the challenge for the performer, is like, some people are going to be talking, and in this case it's not okay, but the people that wanted to watch were engaged. They'd move their chairs or they'd sit closer or whatever. And eventually we won a lot of people over, so
totally.
but I didn't need much, and that's what was great.
Okay, so that timer was for the ramen noodles. I'm going to drain these and bring them back.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think I'm draining these. Yeah, I am.
I mean, I have some draining experience. A lot of people say that I'm very draining, actually. Maybe I should have. Yep. I mean, that's people that have gone out with me. What?
I love that. Look at this cooking joke, right?
Yeah, that's right. Woo-hoo!
It's your improv skills.
That's right. For you. Yes,
and an emergency improv situation.
I did. You're right. There was a little bit of dead air. Wow.
It was.
No, not dead air, but it was just silence.
No. Well, I had to step away from it.
Yeah, that's true. You want to cut the chit chat down when you're when you're carrying a large pot of boiling water.
Oh my gosh.
All okay, right. So this is already measured.
Yeah, just dump that.
It's just like a cooking.
I know, it's a cooking show. Okay. It's a cooking show. So we have our sesame oil, maple syrup, toasted sesame seeds, and hoisin. I think hoisin sauce and garlic. And Laura is whipping that up into a marinade.
Into a frenzy.
Into a frenzy. Always.
Do you know, I met somebody who's allergic to garlic, and that might be one of the saddest things I've ever heard.
That's so sad.
I know, right? And she said sometimes I just eat it anyway, and then I don't know what happens.
I feel like you can't even be friends with that person.
No way, she's lovely. She's like the nicest person, but she's allergic to garlic, and I just thought, God, that is unfortunate.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about
whisk this together, right?
Yeah, whisk that together. That's going to be our
ooh, this looks good.
Our marinade.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is a recipe from the New York Times, which is where I get a lot of recipes for a couple reasons. One, just because there's so many, but two, I like the reviews and the feedback. And also I always am restricted because it has to be something that's like 30 minutes ish.
Okay.
Just because we're doing this, we're on air, we're whatever, we're not really on air, but today we're on air. So, it's a New York Times recipe. Okay. Wonderful job. Kudos to you. Next step, you've got to place the noodles on this pan.
Okay.
And then, you're going to add sesame oil, vegetable oil, soy sauce, salt, and then toss it while it's on the pan. I don't really know why. I don't know why it wouldn't have stayed in the bowl, but
maybe because it'll coat the pan and then you don't have to go along ahead of time. You know, like probably.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I
do
you like to cook?
I do. I started cooking more because being a vegan, I didn't want to just eat like peanut butter and beans, Awful. So I mean, I like peanut butter and beans, but I didn't want to just eat like chips or whatever. So I had to learn how to cook, and I wanted to cook things that I had eaten before I was vegan. I was kind of like vegetarian for a minute. And before that, I ate meat, but it started to be limited. Like I didn't want to handle it. I would pray over it or say some sort of like chant about it or ask for forgiveness. Like I'm vegan for the animals. Like, that's why. So that
was going to be my question.
Yeah. I saw that on the thing. So, so that was just my instinct. And so because of that, I was like, all right, well, maybe I just don't want to eat animals,
Yeah. I mean, so how long have you been a vegan?
Since 2015.
Oh, wow. A long time.
This might be a little less than 2. Do you have one more packet?
Yeah, I have one of these.
Oh, you have some.
This,
okay, great.
I was like, oh, I don't have very much.
Yeah, that's all right.
So, but why not eat milk and cheese and other eggs and stuff?
Well, because I mean, and I'll leave it to you, if you look at the suffering of animals around the collection of dairy materials like milk, there is incredible suffering for the animals and the animals' babies. And so the milk is produced to feed babies. And so they take the milk, they separate the babies. Sometimes they kill the babies.
You're right.
So, but if you don't mind that, cheese is delicious, cheese is the thing. I saw
my
that on
God.
your question too. Is this already
Oh,
measured?
no.
Okay.
Just
No,
put
yeah,
a
I don't
tiny
want to.
bit.
All right. What is it? A half a teaspoon.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay, what Laura's doing, the noodles are on the sheet pan. She's adding sesame oil, vegetable oil, soy sauce, and a tiny bit of salt because soy sauce typically, of course,
Yeah,
has a lot of
salty.
salt. And then she's going to toss the ramen noodles around in this sheet pan. And
This is fun.
yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, I think that's why they do it on this pan, is so that you can coat the pan and then it won't stick. I'm
So
guessing.
smart. Yeah.
Well,
No, I think that's why. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, that movie
tactily
Minari,
satisfying.
did you see that movie,
Mm.
Minari? It
Oh,
was
about the no,
like the immigrant family who lives in basically like the father decides to move them to a rural area in, I forgot, honestly, I forgot
in the
what
States
state.
or okay.
Yeah. And so for part of the time they're sorting chickens, and so they're sorting like the baby chickens,
And they throw
like,
them in the garbage.
yeah, they throw some away. It's
They
awful.
throw huge garbage bags of live sentient beings in the garbage.
My God.
No, I didn't. And I have to say that when it comes to like uncomfortable animal suffering footage, I'm like, if I don't eat them, I don't have to watch it. But they slip through the gates because I have mixed, I have some fear, I guess, and intimidation around sharing that with my friends, because like I don't want to alienate my friends, but I also want to like spread the truth. So it's a constant like, am I going to share this today, or am I just going to sit with it? I think what really cemented it, and I don't have the picture in my phone, but I think I saved it in my email, was a little girl whose dog was kidnapped, stolen, and butchered and dressed for the Yulin Dog Meat Festival. And so there's this little picture of this little girl like kneeling, like squatting down with her hand on her heart in this anguish. And her dog is trussed like a turkey on this dish right next to her. And it's like she recognized that was her dog at this festival. And that's what made me decide to go vegan.
Yeah, but I mean, most dogs are not. That doesn't happen to most dogs in the US.
No, but it's all, it's all
of a piece.
Yeah, it's all connected. So, but no, I like that you were like, just in case you were hoping to be able to buy a dog meat. We don't sell it here. You'll have to go to Amazon and get your stolen little girl's house pet trussed up like a turkey.
Like a turkey.
Well, it was not tied.
I mean, that's horrifying. I really struggle. Like in my head, I'm like, I'm an aspiring vegetarian. Mm-hmm. But honestly, I don't know what it is about chicken, but I just really love chicken. And I've got to really think hard about that, because chickens, I think are probably among like the top mistreated, Yeah. I mean, they're all no, I shouldn't even say that. They're all mistreated. It's my own, I really don't eat like meat very much, like red meat, and I never eat bacon or anything, but chicken really gets me, and I need to think about that. And then even thinking about it beyond that, like you said, milk, dairy. Oh,
well, it's, watching people hug animals, sometimes it's good to go in on a positive thing. Like, there are people that have pet chickens. Like I just saw this video the other day, and this woman comes on to like some place, I don't know where, she's a farm, and this chicken comes running up and they like hug each other, and it's like so cute. And like, or the turkey at Thanksgiving, just because they're small doesn't mean they don't have feelings.
Totally.
All right.
Okay. So now this looks wonderful. Laura has spread the ramen all around in the sheet pan. It's time to marinate the tofu. You're going to dip we got extra firm tofu. Honest to God, I've never even cooked with tofu. Okay. How ridiculous. So we're going to do that.
And then do you lay it on here?
And then we lay it on there. And I should have told you, we just like make room so it's on the bottom.
Oh, okay.
So it gets crispy.
Should I move all the noodles to one side, or you blend it in?
Yeah, we just blend it in. So Laura is putting pieces of tofu kind of interspersed with the noodle arrangement. Essentially.
And do you use this whole thing of tofu?
It said to use the whole thing. I think it's like 12 or 14 ounces
Okay.
of tofu. And then, yeah, so we do that, then we'll put it in the oven. We've got a couple more steps, but we'll keep talking too. So yeah, well, that's really interesting about food. I mean, moving on.
I mean,
from
you
the
asked.
slaughter of
Otherwise, I
animals.
wouldn't. I probably wouldn't say. I mean, I go to a lot of spaces, and this is not going to win me points with vegans. Some of them, I have friends that are pretty strong activists, and yuck. I mean, not yuck, like yuck. Things that they do and see are like, I mean, so brave and like sacrifice. But I also share a lot of spaces with people that eat meat, and so and associated murder foods, as I like to call. I mean, I will call murder foods, but
right.
But I, that is for me. It's like that's navigating that path, living in the city, stuff like that. It's not simple.
No,
it's a complex thing to have this inbuilt and, just complex. So
do you go to restaurants that are non-vegan? Like if I wanted to go to a fried chicken restaurant with you, would you go?
I mean, yes, to be honest, I go to more restaurants that aren't vegan. I don't go out to restaurants a lot, but like I went to a Middle Eastern place that has meat on the menu, and I've been there before, so I knew what was there. And
this is a lot of tofu.
I know.
Wow.
Well, we're gonna make it.
Okay.
I don't know if that's what they.
Want.
Well, we can always leave a couple pieces out.
Let's just do that.
Okay. So I also can. Yeah, but I think it's gonna be good. But yes, I usually do some investigation on the menu, but then there's like great restaurants, like Kale My Name is one that I eat at. If my friends are willing, I'll be like, let's go to a vegan restaurant, but it's one where I know they're going to get like delicious food.
Okay.
So the thing, I think that you ask, go ahead. You asked me, because associated with that, I think you asked, is there any food that's hard or that I miss?
Oh yeah.
And I think that's really good for people to know when they're trying something new. I just know for myself, like, I like to be warned about emotional pitfalls. Sometimes I can obsess before it even affects me and be like, well, I don't want to deal with that. Like I'm already obsessing about winter, and I'm like, I just got a car for the first time. So I'm like, oh, it's going to be terrible. And how do I know, but, so it's like, maybe we don't worry about winter yet, like I am getting a shovel ahead of time, but anyway, so
especially with the supply chain shortage.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I feel like
people
are running out right now to get shovels, and I'm going to be digging snow.
Don't get shovels, anyone. All of our
save one for me. No, I'm just kidding. I have a friend. I'll just borrow their shovel. But but the thing that I miss is, I was thinking about this. Cheese was the hard one, right? Because there are some good cheeses, and also I just lowered my expectations, right? Like, but there's something about when pizza is the thing. Like at work, they serve pizza. I work at a medical facility, and they have a pizza day where they order pizza in, and it's like, it's hard. I miss pizza. But the truth is, as a 40-year-old woman I was 40 when I became vegetarian. I'm 52. So 52-year-old woman who's inclined to be overweight and does not want to be overweight anymore. I can't eat all the pizza I want anyway. So pizza's off the table for a lot of reasons. But when they get it, I'm like, you sons of bitches.
Because pizza is,
or F you.
Amazing.
Sorry. Is this a
you can swear.
Okay,
I don't care.
Great.
Okay, let's put it in.
Okay.
I think
we don't need this.
We don't need
I might just eat that.
Yeah. Is it good like that?
I don't know. Well,
okay.
I'm willing to try it.
Of course.
Okay.
So it goes, so
we put it in the oven.
Yeah, we're putting it in the oven for 15 minutes on the bottom rack, apparently. And then we're going to move it up to the top rack in 15 minutes. I better set a timer because we won't have any idea what's going on.
Before I wash my hands, can I eat this piece of tofu
Yeah,
with raw
eat it.
thing on it?
Sure.
Okay, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I didn't have any breakfast.
I know. I've never eaten raw tofu.
Um,
Okay, I'm gonna try it too.
Step on it. Oh.
Oh, of course,
It's fine.
definitely. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
I mean, I'm not like
tofu's
scared
good
of
in-
it, but
Tofu is good in
Oh, yeah.
smoothies. It thickens it up.
oh,
I mean,
it is good
you have to watch how much soy. I think women are supposed to
Yeah.
watch. Like,
for sure.
I forget what happens. We grow like a third boob,
Oh,
but then the
totally.
boobs we have go away or whatever.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Maybe it's a better boob than our original one. So who
Right.
knows, could be advantageous, really. Okay, so we do have some other steps.
I'm gonna wash mine.
Okay, cool. And I am,
Oh, let me do the hot dish. Can't even see me cooking right
Laura,
now. What?
it's not on the Lincoln Lodge Facebook page.
All right.
I didn't make it public.
Okay. So what does
Cool.
that mean? I mean, it's
I'm
still
gonna make it
recording, right?
public Now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will it be record? Well, whatever.
Yeah, it's recording for
Okay.
sure.
Are you gonna eat the rest of this tofu?
No.
All right, I'm gonna eat it.
Shoot, I don't make it public. It says public. It's not live.
Well, we'll share it. Who's texting you?
Christine.
Okay.
Now it says it's streaming live. Okay, well, whatever.
Mom, I'm
Friends.
glad it started streaming live right when I shoved something into my mouth.
Yeah,
That's
we're-
very on brand for me.
I mean, I was overly excited that this was actually happening in the correct way. If you logged on to watch us on Facebook, I'm so sorry. I didn't know it wasn't public. You're in the middle of the broadcast, but you'll catch up later.
I'm just
online.
eating my feelings about it.
Yeah, it's been a very hard thing for Laura to accept.
We'll catch up. I've been doing stand-up for 12 years and I did sketch and theater before that. And I've been a vegan since 2015. So we're cooking crispy noodles with hoisin tofu. Is that right?
And ramen. Yeah.
And ramen
Oh,
from
yeah.
the New York
Mhm.
Times.
Yeah,
And it's vegan in honor of my veganism.
of course. Absolutely. So Laura, I want to do, okay, so we have to do the bok choy.
Okay.
So we're gonna put the bok choy in the bowl and put these ingredients. So just the bok choy, the vegetable oil, and a little bit of salt.
Okay. Can I tear this in just
Sure.
another
Yeah.
small piece?
I've
All right,
never
I
made
feel-
cooked with bok choy
I
either.
feel like greens and it'll be great, but yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah. So one thing that I think is interesting is how you have combined comedy with like your experience around addiction and obviously recovery, which you talk about and which you have a show about. So I just want to, I mean, I don't want to be invasive.
Okay.
I'm just curious about, like, was there a point where you were like, I need to find a path forward? I've been using these substances. This is a major problem. And was there a turning point for you?
Oh, you mean, yeah. So, in my life,
Mhm.
oh yes. So I was 27 when I stopped drinking and using drugs. I had tried with support of a support group, a support program when I was like 19, and that lasted like a year and a half. But there's like some work that you have to do. And I like the community around it. There was a lot of joy. There was a lot of laughter, a lot of relief, a lot of cynicism or cynical, like sarcasm, which I really liked. But when the sort of euphoric feelings of that, and it was time to like do self-examination work, I was not ready for that. And so what ended up happening is that the sort of, I guess, the mental and emotional, and actually somewhat physical, like PTSD, whatever I'm getting, DDS, dentist. All of that stuff was still sort of stopped getting relieved. I stopped getting relief from, because I wasn't like, it's like if you go to the gym and you start off small, that's great. You're walking a mile and that's great. But at some point, you're going to have to walk more. And then they're going to be like, now throw in some weights and you're going to have to stretch and do things like that. Getting sober is exactly the same way. And I wasn't ready to do that. So what happens if you don't go forward, you might stand still and then you go back. And I started drinking. So then when I was 27, I was in school for theater at Columbia. And it was like I was 20. I started when I was 25. I don't know, how old was I? I was 27 when I got sober, and I was in school. I was on summer break. I went back to school. I went late. I think I went to school and I went late, and I was on summer break, and I really liked school, and I was really starting to feel better about myself. But like my drinking just on the weekends and stuff, and like some other like drug use and stuff like that, just as my counselor at the time said, you do really well during the week and then you seem to backslide on the weekend, but the structure of school at that time gave me some focus and some control.
Your
so
counselor, like your substance
I was seeing like just a general, like a therapist counselor. I don't think she was I think she was a counselor. It was through the Chicago Women's Health Center. I don't know what her letters were, like but I was in counseling is what they called it. And it wasn't for substance abuse. Like I went there because I didn't feel good about myself. I didn't feel good about life, but I was still trying to find a way to feel better about life and not let go of drinking and drugs, which I didn't focus on as much. It was really like, for me, the drinking was probably the thing that was the most destructive. And then, so I went to school, but it did help. And so I went to school and I was finally sort of on my timeline, catching up and like putting life together, trying to like participate in my interests and stuff. But on the weekend, sort of like all the dysfunction I grew up in and all the wreckage that I had experienced and created when I was younger, and I was like in addiction and in dysfunction, that all was like still there. So when I didn't have school to focus on, it was like on the weekends, I'd just be like, and then I just woke up one morning after, a night of drinking, and I was like, it was not a planned night of drinking. It was a planned day of not drinking the day before, but then somebody kind of gave me a drink, and then that just set me off. And I just saw that I couldn't control it no matter what the environment was like. And, or what was going on with me, what was going on outside of me, what I used and supplement, what I didn't use. I couldn't control it. It just controlled me. So, that was sort of the concession that I had. And so, I stopped. And when I stopped that, for me, I was lucky enough to not, at the time, to not be, not that I am now, but like at the time, I was not like so also addicted to one particular street drug or pharmaceutical drug used in more of a street style drug. I just made that up. Like, oh, what are you doing? You're crushing up your grandma's morphine. That's street style drug, street style pharmaceuticals. Okay. Anyway, that's not a thing. Don't do it. Not a thing. But so anyway, except for nicotine, it took me till 40 to stop smoking. So that was harder to give up, and food was hard too. So that's my story. Was that too long of an answer?
No, it's
I'm just
not.
trying to be thorough.
Yeah. And so you had that turning point, and I know you've been like very, I don't know if this is the wrong term, but like active in the recovery community.
Yeah, it took me a little while to come back because I'd been before, and I thought for some reason that my inability to participate in a way that was meaningful and would sustain sobriety, I can identify it now, but I blamed that the like recovery programs for my inability to follow their suggested guidelines, which is super common. People want help. They come to some place for help. The help's like, great, we're going to give you help. And the way we give help looks like this. And you're like, I want help, but I want you to change your help to make it look like I want it. Almost everybody does that. And like, some people are like, okay, I'll do whatever you say. And then they have like a more benign, polite way of being rebellious and defiant. But I was slow to do it, but I just realized I couldn't do it on my own. Like your old ways of thinking and living will not give you new results or something like that. Like, not to take a serious matter and reduce it to platitudes. I don't really know what a platitude is, but to reduce it to like cheesy sayings, but sometimes those cheesy sayings are true.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Do you like, is it a struggle for you every day still to be sober, to like, yeah, is that a struggle? Are there certain triggers and is it difficult?
I would say drinking and drug use hasn't been too big of a threat, because I've participated in the communities that support me, like with people, and then I've all of the avenues that I've gone to for like guidelines to like change my perception, whatever steps and things like that, processes to help me clear away whatever it is that drives me to drink. I've been pretty active. What is challenging is when I discover, as a human being, we all have we're complex, we have different problems. So it always seems like there's always something I'm working with and reckoning with myself. Like alcohol and drugs isn't a problem. Food was a problem. Spending has been a problem. So anytime that I have to reckon with like a behavior that is out of control or a compulsion, there's always grief and struggle and like, but I guess that's just life, but I have the same sort of basic principles and actions and non-actions to take. It's just applying them in a new way, and then inviting in like other new tools, like, different like self-help things, therapeutic things, spiritual things, exercise things, fun thing, whatever, YouTube videos. I watch a lot of YouTube videos on stuff, but like, so I have confronted a lot of really hard stuff about myself, and I'm like, yeah, like right now, codependency is my new jam. Like, I mean, I've had it, but like, I've always had it, but like now I want life to look differently. I will say that sometimes being a comedian and being sober and also being a little older can be isolating. So I feel isolated sometimes, but I try not to treat my peers like they can use things that I can't use and do things I can't do, or they do things that I can't, whether they can or not. That's for each individual to decide, and sometimes the law, but I try to take them seriously. They're still my peers. They have value. And it's just, there's always that point where maybe I want to get to bed earlier and they're like, well, I'm going to stay up till 6, or whatever.
Of course. But also I think it's important to recognize that you bring certain things, viewpoints, perspectives, experiences that someone who's 25 don't bring. I mean, There's absolutely no question about that. And I have this conversation with other comics. I'm 43. I'm not your age, but I'm also not 25. And I have this conversation with other comics in like our age range. And I do think that having certain perspectives and experiences is really important, and it is really valuable.
Yeah.
So I can't get away with saying certain things, nor would I want to in some ways, like that someone else can, because that's who they are and that's their experience. But we certainly have experiences to share that other folks don't.
And I will say that like, I am rarely ever, other than like, some people don't, just like, I don't book everybody. Some people don't book me. I'm not their cup of tea. And, sometimes I look into that. Sometimes I push it. Sometimes I don't. But I have to say that like, I have I've been fortunate enough to not be dismissed by anybody. And I think where that comes in is that, like anything else in any industry, people want to see that you're showing up and you're taking it seriously and you're doing the work, you know? And I show up at mics, I do mics, I wait sometimes I ask for a favor, but I don't, you know, sometimes I don't, just because I'm older or, you know, wide awake doesn't mean I get to, you know, I just take the process seriously. And I sit through my discomforts as everyone else is. And, you know, I feel like I've just been incredibly fortunate as somebody who doesn't have children to be around younger people, because I'm not completely out of touch with the zeitgeist, you know, and I don't want to be. And I also can be like, oh, the Beatles, they were a rock band, you know, like, I mean, it's like, you know, like, it's, I mean, that's even before my time. I mean, I know who the Beatles are, but like, there are people who, what is I figured out? There's something the other. Oh, now we're putting the bok choy.
Sorry. Yeah.
Hold on. I want to do my sexy arm claw and suck my stomach and then like keep my shoulders down, but I can't do it without bending my knees. So this is hot dish, baby.
Oh, Laura, you are one hot dish.
I am a hot dish.
Will you sprinkle this on, and then we're going to put it back in the oven for 4 minutes. So Laura right now is putting the bok choy onto the tofu and the noodles, and then we're going to put it back in the oven for 4 minutes on the top rack to make it even crispier than it is.
It is crispy.
Yeah, it looks great.
I'm going to tear this up just
okay.
a little more.
Also, I mean, the other thing is, Laura, you have earned your place in the comedy scene. You work really hard. You're really smart. You're funny. You're sharp. I also think you're a good mentor too to other comics, and you're very open and positive with people. So
right back at you.
I mean,
thank you.
But it's true. I mean,
does that look good?
Yeah, this looks delicious.
Hot dish.
Okay, so 4 more minutes on we'll start with 4 because my oven's usually hotter than it seems. So yeah, I mean, I think that you're liked and you're respected in the Chicago comedy community. I mean, there's no question. So
thanks.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know.
I mean, you're a fabulous comic. You're really witty and sharp. I think that's difficult to be.
Oh,
I do. Like, you can think on your feet really fast, and your material is very good, and it's you have a certain perspective that you bring in, a certain energy. So
thanks. Well, I think I appreciate that very much. I think that the other thing I can do with stand-up is it's a way maybe to, just like the show, it's also a way, like, if there is somebody who has a need, it's not easy to realize you've got something that you wrong that you can't, something you need to stop that you can't, or something that you need to start that you can't. Like exercising is a great example. Like some people have health problems, they have to exercise. If it's not in your nature, like people are cut off from their bodies for a reason, and they need, you know, comedy and stand up to me is a way, at least my work, and like is a way to say, hey, I had this problem, I got through it, here's how, you know, you can do it too. Yeah. And they also know somebody is around who might be able to talk to them, you know.
Absolutely.
And so it's a way to put that out there.
Yeah.
And also say, and you can still be incredibly cool.
Totally.
Just getting high on life. I'm kidding. I don't say that. But yeah, no, that, you know, you still can have fun. You can still have your dreams, you know, or some semblance of them, or what, you know. I guess this is my dream. This
Absolutely.
is my dream.
This
is my dream.
Your dream, like, right here. In
also,
my
because
kitchen.
I'm moving in your apartment. It's so nice. You didn't know that. That's not your dream, but it is mine. And this is about me today.
Laura, nice you can spend the night tonight.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's just like this island, like, you know.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I'll sleep in the kitchen by your shoes over there.
Yeah, my bedroom closet is basically in my kitchen.
Yeah.
So one other thing I wanted to ask you, because this is going to go off soon, but I also wanted to ask you about the comedy community. Like, so as someone, I've been doing stand-up for 6 years. When I started and I joined the comedy community, it opened up a whole world of people to me. Really, really diverse people with all different backgrounds. Some people who struggle with addiction, some people who've never used drugs, some people, I don't consider that I have a addiction problem. So I do go out and drink, but I don't stay out until 4 a.m. And, you know, there's just a whole range. People with mental illness, which I would put myself in that category because I've been on anti-anxiety medication for a few years. Thank God. It has been a world of difference. And anyway, so I say all that to say, in the comedy community, I do meet quite a few people who would say, I'm a sober comic. And so I just think sometimes, like, does comedy draw a certain type of person, or is sobriety within the comedy community like a subgroup? Or how, like, what's your perception of that? Because I do meet a fair amount of comedians who don't drink.
I would say, yeah, there's I mean, my observation is that comedy draws people that are trying to laugh and make others laugh through pain. Like, I think they want to, some people also, like, this is the job I want to do. I want to be an entertainer. I want to make my living this way. I want to get up in front of people and I want to perform. It's in my nature. It's my talents. But I also think that comedy tends to be, it seems like people who are wounded. That's what I would say. I'm sure there's going to be somebody out there who's like, not everybody in comedy is wounded. And those are usually the most wounded people of all. And they may not, be that funny, but they probably are super wounded. So, but since you're asking me, that's my experience.
Yes.
And so I think wounded people tend to get addicted because they're medicating those wounds. And it may not start out that serious, that it might just look like having fun, taking the edge off. But for some people it sticks and there's greater consequences, and it's not just something you can just walk away from. And I think that's so it's common to find it. Although every person I've met that comes into like any kind of support group or recovery related space that I've ever been in, it'll be like, oh, a hairdresser will come in and be like, you don't know how many drunks are in the hairdressing industry.
Wow.
And then other people are like lawyers, man,
Really?
they're all addicted to. And when I'm like, oh my God, there's just a lot of drunks. I just think humans are flawed and imperfect and dysfunctional, and therefore you're just going to get a lot of that. And but yeah, a lot of, especially in comedy, for sure. There's different levels. Some people don't drink, some people are like more committed to like a sober lifestyle. Some people are what we call California sober. They quit drinking but they still smoke weed.
Oh, right.
Or Indiana sober, which is just drinking. So I made that part up, but I'm hoping to work it into the
that's a keeper right
Indiana
there.
sober. Oh yeah.
Okay. I have taken out the crispy noodles with bok choy and tofu that Laura has made. It looks really good.
It was a collaborative effort.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I get to sprinkle the cilantro.
Yes, cilantro goes on top, and then we're gonna try it, and then we're gonna turn off the cameras and pig out.
Yeah, we're
on our vegan food.
We could chew on the microphone if you want. I mean, through the lockdown, I did so much stuff on Zoom. There's a lot of footage of me, like in gallery view, chomping on a snack, waiting for my turn at an online open mic. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm like eating and everything.
It's great. Keep doing it. Yeah, you got to be real. You got to be who you are, Laura.
Some comics go up with a cocktail on stage. I go up with a plate of vegan mashed potatoes and tofurkey sausage.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, we have to try this while we're still on camera, and then we're going to turn it off. Also, while we're trying this, I'm going to say Lincoln Lodge. Sure. Lincoln Lodge has a lot of other wonderful shows and podcasts. John Keel has a podcast. a music podcast, and he's coming up on 1 year, and please give that a listen.
Woo-hoo.
Check out other stuff, check out shows,
Check out the Lincoln Lodge.
check
It's
out
awesome.
the Lincoln Lodge. Christine Ferreira has been wonderful. She is my producer, and
Thank you, Christine.
yeah, thank you, Christine.
I'm super excited to try this.
Okay, we're gonna have our bite.
You look like a moderate amount. Maybe
Well,
work a bit.
I mean, I had time to cut it.
I just drool.
It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, this is really good. I would make it again.
Chinese
I did double the sauce amount because
crispy noodles that look like pubic hair. With a vegan.
It's vegan pubic hair. It's delicious. You should try it.
As long as it's given with consent.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're gonna sign off. Laura Hugg, you keep eating. No big deal. You've been a wonderful guest. You are a fabulous inspiration. Keep on doing what you're doing. The comedy community loves you. I love you. Thank you.
Too. Thank you. You too. Thank you.
Thanks for your time. And this has been Hot Dish. We're super hot over here. Yeah.
I can't get down. Like I have to go backwards.